What does it mean to be a part of quarterback's career here alongside Troy? What does this all mean to you?
Nice, thank you. This is, yeah, it's awesome. They always say what time and what experience does to you. This is something that I've always been honored to be a part of, humbled when Roger asked me to take his position in this chair, and obviously having my own relationship with cancer, losing my mom to it. This fight is something that I don't take lightly, and so to be a quarterback or be the champion on the front line means everything to me. But as I said, as life has progressed and you have kids and you start to understand and you see the face in some of these kids maybe that you've seen in your own at times. Today has hit in a whole different way than I know has ever. Just even to hear a girl say her hero is her dad. Blessed to be able to be a part of this fight with Troy, with the Children's Cancer Fund, and as I said up there, I'm gonna do everything that I can to make sure that we continue to get more alumni here and fewer of the patients and models.
Is there obviously well known, like you said, how cancer has impacted you and your brothers and your family as far as your mom is concerned. You touched on it just now as far as being a newfound father over the past year. Can you just explain a little bit more, elaborate on just the poignancy of being taking care of these kids in this way?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I think we can understand that's something you won't even elaborate on or have to think in that way, but unfortunately, it's the reality for some of these parents. And as I said, for me, it was losing a parent. And as I said, the fight that I watched my mom go through, that as well, to see that same fight, to see the maturity in some of these kids, to see what they have to, the way that they have to fix their face and take on each and every day, that's why they're the heroes. That's why this night is so special, is because I just get to be a little piece and shining a light on them during this fight that I believe that they can win, and I know that my job and my role in this is creating as much awareness as I can, getting as much money gathered for research and development, as I said, to give these doctors and these scientists everything they need so we can lessen the number and end this terrible disease.
Is there a specific experience you've had while doing this that stuck with you?
A bunch. I think one that that kind of came to fruition last year, I realized what I was in, is we actually had a manager, a COWBOYS manager, equipment manager. Won't say his name, but I worked with him a good bit here and there, and worked with him for 3 or 4 years before I realized on his way out he left, and he had wrote everybody a note, and he wrote me a letter saying, I appreciate you going and walking in that gala. I was a member of it, and had the picture of him and Quincy Carter, and just to see a kid that potentially one of these kids I'm walking with, to understand that kid years later, because of Quincy Carter, because of the COWBOYS, because of the North Dallas, because of all the people that have poured into this foundation that have allowed a guy like him to be able to grow old and to serve and to do what he loves and be a part of a game that I love, and create a relationship with a young man like that if it wasn't for this gala, who knows what would be possible.
Last one right here, last one.
Question here.
I know y'all can give me a couple.
Okay, thank
Go
you.
ahead.
on Shadi becoming the head coach?
Yeah, super excited for him, this opportunity. Obviously, I've worked with him for the last couple of years, understanding the type of coach he is, the type of man he is, the way that he approaches the game. I think the best way to exemplify that is the son of a legendary football coach. He's not going to take anything about this game lightly. He enjoys the work in it. Kind of old-fashioned. I'm looking forward to the grind and some things that we're going to do and he's going to add, and excited for him. I know he's ready for it. He's been an assistant for a long time, and something else I admire is the way that he went on with the interviewing process. When you've been an assistant for 25 to 30 years, I know there's a quarterback coach, I know there's a receiver coach, a D coordinator, and a safety that you can call up without them thinking twice and they're going to come work for you. But for him to go through the due diligence of getting the guys in, interviewing them, and then taking it amongst the other guys that are there and making final decisions, I think speaks highly of his approach and the way that he's going to take care of things.
What type about you guys being able to have a hard conversation with each other? How does that happen? How do you guys build that?
Yeah, I think just naturally, it's kind of already happened. I know he alluded to, the interception at practice and me giving it back to him. And, it was a great moment I understand and I appreciate that sense of standard. We're not accepting one play to come out, but in my point, hey, where did I get my risk versus reward? But that was a conversation that was very unpleasant at the front end. But it had to be addressed at some point or another, and it was immediately after practice, and it was two grown men coming to an understanding and appreciating each other for the competitiveness and the standard. And so I'm excited for things like that to grow, and not only just me in the quarterback position, but throughout every position on our team.
What type of impact did he have on you in McCarthy's system, and what kind of impact did he have with McCarthy's offense, and what change did you expect him to have on his own?
Yeah, a huge impact. He was a guy that was a vital part in putting the game plan together each and every week. Obviously, McCarthy was the one making the calls at the end of the day, but he was a big part in the on-game process, which call was being made. Obviously, I was in the headsets the latter part of the year, so heard all of that. Very professional guy, as I said, is ready, earned it, and deserves every bit of this opportunity that he's
What do you expect to be different?
And then honestly, I think he spoke on it in the press conference, right? And then following this year, we just got to get to running the ball, being a little bit more, consistent on that. And then from there, go back and look at the numbers. I've always enjoyed play action pass, so just being able to get back to that. But you've got to start with the run game, and when you have that, the rest of the offense can open up. You saw that this one more.
When you see what the Eagles just did, how far are you guys away from that level?
I feel like we compete with the Eagles and beat them for the most part when we played them. I don't want to say check the record when they're the guys holding the trophy right now. So credit to them. They've earned it and they deserved it by all means. But, yeah, very close, especially when you even watch the NFC game, the NFC Championship. And those two teams that we battle against each and every year a couple of times. And as I said, feel confident about we've gotten the better part each and every time. To see it in such a dominating fashion, credit to them. It's our turn and it's on us.
All right.
Okay, how's your health?
Good. Yeah, my health is, for sure. My health is good. Doing a lot more. Getting there. I think I'm, 12 weeks or so out of surgery now. So I'm really looking to amp it up here recently. Got all my confidence and it'll be fine. Thank you.
One quick question on Kellen Moore being head coach.
My guy, for sure. Super, super happy for him, proud of him. Super proud of him winning the Super Bowl, getting that team there, being with the number one offense in the league, dominant, setting the rushing record, showing how he's evolved and what he can do. And I think he's just going to take another step in that when he gets to New Orleans. Super excited.
All right, let's break this down. Dak Prescott made a statement that got people talking. He said he feels like the Cowboys compete with the Eagles and actually beat them most of the time. He acknowledged that Philly earned their success, but also pointed out that Dallas is always in the fight. Basically, he was confident but respectful. Now, here's the thing. Was he wrong? When you look at the games, the Cowboys have had the upper hand against the Eagles in recent years. So why did this become such a big deal? Before we dive deeper, let's settle this right now. Do you think Dak was right to say what he said? Vote in the poll and drop a comment below. Do the Cowboys truly have the edge over the Eagles, or is this just talk? Let's hear it from you, and trust me, the way people reacted to this, that's where things get interesting. You already know how this goes. Dak says something, and boom. The media runs with it, twisting every word into a controversy. Some analysts acted like he was taking a shot at the Eagles. Others wanted him to go even further, calling out the Cowboys' front office or demanding better players. And of course, there were those saying he should have just kept quiet. Think about it. No matter what he said, people were going to flip it into a negative. If he stayed silent, they'd call him scared. If he asked for help, they'd say he's not a leader. It's like the guy can't win with some folks. What do you think? Did the media blow this out of proportion? Or was there something real to criticize? Let me know in the comments. And speaking of facts, let's talk about the numbers, because they tell a very different story. All right, let's put the narratives aside and look at the cold, hard facts. Dak Prescott wasn't just talking. His record against the Eagles and Commanders backs it up. Since he took over as QB1, the Cowboys have consistently beaten these teams when he's on the field. His career record against them, overwhelmingly positive. Even in recent seasons, when Dak plays, Dallas either wins or keeps it razor close. And let's not forget, some of those losses came when Cooper Rush was filling in. So when Dak says the Cowboys are right there with the Eagles, he's got the numbers to prove it. So here's a question for you. Do stats like these matter when discussing rivalries? Or is it all about what happens in the playoffs? Vote in the poll and let me know what you think. But now, let's talk about the real pressure on Dak. What could he have said instead? Let's be real. No matter what Dak said, people were going to criticize him. If he had come out and demanded more help, the media would have jumped on him for not being a leader or throwing his teammates under the bus. But if he had said nothing, that would have been a whole new controversy. Dak is afraid to speak. He won't face the pressure. Is he losing confidence? See how this works? It's a no-win situation. And the craziest part? He has spoken up before. He's talked about needing better execution, holding teammates accountable, and even questioning the way the team is run. But somehow, that always gets ignored. So here's a question. What would you have wanted Dak to say? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And speaking of accountability, isn't there someone else who should be under more pressure? Let's talk about Jerry Jones. Here's the truth. Dak Prescott isn't the guy who controls this team's destiny. That power belongs to one man, Jerry Jones. Fans get caught up dissecting every word from Dak. But when was the last time the Cowboys front office truly built a championship roster? Year after year, we see other teams making aggressive moves, adding star players, and doing whatever it takes to win. Meanwhile, Jerry and Stephen Jones talk about value and sticking to the plan. But what's that plan exactly? Because whatever it is, it hasn't worked in almost 30 years. So maybe instead of questioning Dak's words, we should be asking, what is Jerry Jones really doing to take this team to the next level? And that leads to a bigger question. As fans, how should we respond to all this? Let's wrap it up in the final chapter. At the end of the day, debates like this won't change what happens on the field. But as fans, we have to ask ourselves, are we focusing on the right things? Instead of getting caught up in every little quote from Dak, maybe the real conversation should be about this franchise's direction. The Cowboys have talent, but do they have the leadership to make it count? Do you believe this team is being built the right way, or are we stuck in the same cycle year after year? Let's settle this right now. Drop a comment. Do you think the Cowboys front office is doing enough to build a Super Bowl contender? Yes or no? And hey, if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more Cowboys updates.